time to talk about England. Dev said surely Tomori is getting called up to the England squad. Benny says, who do you think should start for England at centre-back? Centre-back picks are not looking too good at the moment. Meanwhile, Zach says Tomori thinks we can't see him. He needs to tighten up. We conceded because he left a man with an open run. At the same time, talking of England, Cal says Jude Bellingham has to start for England at the World Cup. None of this bench and bring him on nonsense. He's our best midfielder. And Governor B, England need to build the team around Rice and Bellingham. Well, let's have a look at the both.
Governor B, he's a West Ham fan.
Yes, he is.
Big West Ham fan.
What do you think, then? The squad gets announced tomorrow. Should Tomori and Bellingham not just be in the squad, but starting for England?
If I was picking my team tomorrow to go into the World Cup, Tomori would be playing on the left-hand side of my three centre-backs, and Bellingham would be in the midfield with Declan Rice, 100%.
Let's see them.
Well, I think Tomori's greatest attributes are his athleticism, but this is one thing we haven't really seen from him. That ball, you know, that gives him the eyes, you know. I think obviously we all talk about his pace, his ability to run, but if he can play those types of balls, then Gareth's going to love that.
I think this is the only area that young defenders are impatient. And the quicker you can eradicate that out of your game, the better it is for you. Watch this here. The centre forward comes across from him, and the other centre back then takes over in terms of marking the player. But watch what Tomori does. Tomori creeps out and comes out as well. And the problem you've got there is this is the space where he's leaving. That's the space that Tomori should be actually staying in and keeping himself in that area. He doesn't. He comes out and tries to gamble and read the centre forward, who does unbelievably well with his awareness of where Tomori is. He goes the wrong side. And here, as they go, the ball comes through. That area I circled before where Tomori should be is where he actually ends up shooting from.
As soon as you vacate spaces like that, another opposition player is going to walk into it. That just happens, and that can decide a World Cup game. You know, that can decide a Champions League game. And I think the thing with young defenders, Rio makes a great point. All the young defenders, they're all on the front foot. They all want to go forward. Sometimes the best thing to do is stand still. There's no reason to go in there, is there, really?
No, he's gambling then. In them areas, it's very difficult to gamble because if you make the wrong decision, you get punished. And listen, for what we've just highlighted there, he has immense pace, which will be an absolute game changer in that side of the pitch for England. I think him on one side, Kyle Walker on the other, and John Stones in the middle. Harry Maguire has been an absolutely great servant for England in the way that he's played for England, but he's not playing, unfortunately, for Manchester United. So for that reason, I'll bring Tomori in.
OK. What about Bellingham, then? He's only started 6 games for England, but you look at him tonight. We've seen him in the Champions League the last couple of seasons. No English teenager scored more in the Champions League. How can he not be central to Gareth's plans?
Well, let's just see a few clips. I mean, I'll be honest, right? Every time I watch Jude play, I come away thinking, I think before the game he's good, and I come away and thinking he's even better. And the point is, he just got it. I don't care if he's played once, he's played 14 times, played 18 times. He has it. And the thing you need at this level is that personality and that temperament. Today he played a bit further forward against Man City. You know, he's in between the lines there. He can play those balls, but really, he's got everything, hasn't he? We know Declan will be a bit the base, and he'd be the perfect complement to that.
And I think you're talking about a World Cup as well, so temperament is going to be key. We've been to tournaments, haven't we, and you've seen players shrink. I don't think he's one of those. I think, again, he scored half of his goals he scored in the Champions League have been against Man City, who would be considered as favourites in the tournament each time he's played against them. He is a player, I think, like you said, the temperament is the key. That separates the good from the great players. I'm not saying he's a great player yet, but he has the potential to be because his temperament is that good. It seems that solid right now that he isn't going to be one that goes up and down through his career for me. I think he's going to be one that's going to have a trajectory that is very, very stable because he's a stable, young, mature man.
Do you two agree on what the England midfield should look like?
Well, I think we all know Declan's going to play at the base of the midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, and rightly so.
And
Calvin Phillips, look, he's been England's Player of the Year this season, and because he's been consistent, right? And that's what you need at international level. The thing is with Jude, I love Calvin Phillips. Jude just has a tiny bit more to his game. More box-to-box, maybe a better finisher. So I think that's why you got to play the players you think can help you win the tournament. It's not about just being there and being consistent. It's about Declan, Jude, Phil Foden or Mason Mount. That's a great 3. All the boys are confident, all the boys are comfortable.
That was 4 names you mentioned. Who would be the 3?
Well, I'm saying, Phil often plays wide, doesn't he? So it'd be, Harry Kane, Raheem off the left and maybe Phil Foden off the right. And then Mason Mount maybe plays as a number 10. I like Phil as a number 10.
Is that how yours would look?
I would play a box in there. I'd play the two midfielders, Rice and Jude Bellingham, and then in front of them I'd play on left to the side of it a little bit. I'd play Sterling a bit advanced, and I'd play Foden on the other side. And that could change with Mount and Grealish as well. Those four would be competing for them two positions a bit higher, and then that's behind Kane. And then the wide flanks patrolled by two wing-backs who can control those areas. I just love these conversations because we're never going to be the England manager.
He looks unconvinced.
We've
by
got
your
no
England
pressure.
selection.
No, I like it. But I think
You've got to take risks. I think the team has to take risks if we're going to have any success.
Our best players are in attacking positions. You know, I think we got to go for it. Look, you know, Phil Foden's going to be confident enough to take the ball in any game. You know, we know that Mason Mount is, Jude Bellingham is. We got to believe in those boys to take it to teams. I think we can, but obviously you got to respect the opposition as well. So it's a fine balance.
If we go there to not get beat in the games, then we come home early. If we go there on the front foot and we're expansive, yes, cautious at times, but we want to go there and control games and beat teams and use our best components in our team, which are attacking areas like Owen said, when I think we've got a much better chance.